Let's turn our attention to another team you saw recently. That's the Minnesota Gophers. They had a very good year, the most wins the program has had since 2003. They were fourth in their division, however. Played in a bowl game, but did lose it to Syracuse. And when it came to passing for this team, they also struggled in that regard. And, of course, one of their quarterbacks has transferred away in Philip Nelson. What you saw from the Gophers practice made you think what?
They're going to be built much like they were a year ago. This was the first day in full pads, the practice that I saw. Very physical practice, very efficient practice, which every time you go see Jerry Kill's teams, it's going to be a very good and a very physical practice. More depth in the offensive line that I've seen. Still struggling throwing the ball. On defense, they lose Hageman, and that's a big loss. I mean, they run better on defense this year, I think, than they did a year ago, but they're not as physical. It looks to me, Stanley, like they're playing with defensive end types all the way across the front because we lost Rashid, and maybe I just miss him. But again, they're in the Western Division. The fact that they can run the ball, the fact that they played good defense last year, it gives them a chance in the West.
Well, their challenge is going to be stopping the run this year. They had a great run-stop defense, and that's because you had a constant double team. You know, when you have that big guy in the middle, that's a constant double team. You have to pay attention to him and focus on him or he'll blow up your offensive scheme. So now they've got to find one or two players that are going to make up the difference there and stop the run. Because you talked about it in the West. If you can run it, you can win it. And then in their passing game, Mitch is going to have to come along. And I don't think you have to have this vertical attack. They've got to find other ways to get the ball in the hands of their skilled players. And so I like to see them develop more of a screen game, some short passing. Get the ball out of his hand quicker, build his confidence. I don't think you have to force the ball downfield. He's not going to throw consistently a 15-yard comeback to the outside, but he can run the ball and he runs your offense efficiently as long as you have some short passes and a screen game that'll help him go.
And, you know, as I was watching them, here's what I was thinking about their defense. They don't have Hageman. They don't have a big physical front, but the fact that they're going against a physical offense will give them a chance against Iowa and Wisconsin. Because you look at the West, here's the running teams. Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Nebraska's somewhere in the middle. Purdue wants to run it more. The only two that are going to throw it around a bunch are Illinois and Northwestern. So you better be able to stop the run if you're in the West, and the best way to learn how to stop the run is to go against it in the spring and in camp, because it's hard to get ready for a run team if your offense is in the run team in 2 hard days of practice on Tuesday and Wednesday.
So in other words, it's okay that Mitch Leidner is not an all-Big Ten quarterback if David Cobb continues to be a very impressive running back, and if they can stop the run, perhaps they can get back to a bowl game and maybe even more.